Hi everyone, I'm Ricardo Ibarra, and this is Dr. Angela Trego. Angela was one of the lead consultants who worked with faculty to update the Washington Skills Standards for Professional Technical Faculty from its 2012 version to the 2024 version. I was the creative and technical consultant for the project. We're here to walk you through the updated skills standards and what they mean for faculty in both the classroom and professional development plans. So Angela, what's the backstory on the skills standards? When did they originate? Why are they so important? And how have they evolved?
Thanks, Ricardo. The initial skills standards were drafted in 2000, updated in 2012, and further refined in 2024. They provide a roadmap for faculty, defining what they need to know and do to succeed. One of the new items is the addition of levels of proficiency for the skills standards. We specified 3 levels: baseline, intermediate, and mastery. The second, and arguably most significant update to the skills standards was the integration of competencies such as access, inclusion, belonging, and equitable teaching practices. This was a 2-year faculty-centered process with input from those who know firsthand what's needed in the classroom, you and your peers. Faculty focused on changes that have occurred in the classroom over the last decade. Things like technology, instructional platforms, changing student demographics, scheduling, and of course, the pandemic. They uncovered some significant themes that benefit students and inform everyday classroom activities. Themes like overcoming barriers to entry, cultural relevance, equitable access, and diverse instructional resources, themes that have broad application and customization possibilities. For continuity, the format, components, and definitions remain the same through all 3 iterations. The employability skills have been modernized to align with employers' current day needs. You can see it all here.
Okay, Angela, how about a brief refresher course on the skill standards in general?
Good idea. Let's start with some basic definitions. Skill standards define what an instructor needs to know and do to succeed. They're comprised of 4 components: critical work functions, key activities, performance indicators, and technical knowledge, each with deeper levels of details. Critical work functions are like your job's high-level to-do list and encompass broad main roles. There are 8 critical work functions in the skills standard document. Key activities are the how to get the job done. They describe specific tasks you need to do to complete critical work functions. Each critical work function has between 4 and 7 key activities. Performance indicators are the measurements for success and can be quantitative or qualitative. The focus is on measuring. Technical knowledge is the know-how that helps you do your job well.
What exactly does this mean for faculty? How do they use the new skill standards, and do they have to?
Faculty will use the skill standards in their professional development plans and in their classrooms. Today's PDP requirements include a minimum of 5 performance outcomes and related activities, which must include 3 of the critical work functions. Those are critical work function A, managing learning environments; critical work function B, develop outcomes, assessments, and curricula; and critical work function D, provide student instruction.
Let's explore that a bit further, Angela, and start with critical work function A, key activity 1, which is research, evaluate, and obtain required equipment, systems, tools, supplies, and/or other materials. How would you approach incorporating that into the PDP and into the classroom?
A great place to start is to reference the performance indicators and technical knowledge that accompany the key activity. Then, gauge your personal, professional level of proficiency. Let's look at the first 2 performance indicators, which include eliminating barriers to entry. Access to financial aid and equipment are, to me, one of the biggest hurdles for students. Faculty can provide information to students on resources for financial aid, counseling, tutoring, finding ways to reduce their costs and tools and resources. As a former faculty member myself, I know that open educational resources or instructor-generated materials mean no books to buy, which can greatly help our students. Offering asynchronous course instruction helps meet students on their own schedule. It's important that the faculty are well-versed and diverse in teaching and learning strategies and best teaching practices for these styles. Professional development activities can involve workshops, podcasts, professional societies, even discussions with other faculty members in other disciplines. Or maybe try to build flexibility into assessment and feedback methods. Examples include diverse and personalized assessment from essays to hands-on projects and everything in between, so that students can showcase their understanding in a way that's consistent with both their backgrounds and their learning styles. And that ties into the fifth performance indicator. These type of activities can be entered into the PDP along with your activity description, method, and due date.
If you're meeting in a group setting and watching this video, you may want to pause here and exchange ideas on ways to implement Key Activity 1 in your classroom. Be sure to discuss any questions you have and connect with your fellow instructors on what they may be doing. Angela, thank you for shining a light on the context and importance of skill standards, as well as some ideas for practical implementation in both the PDP and the classroom for critical work function A. Stay tuned, everyone. There are 2 more videos in this series. The next will focus on critical work function B, and the third on critical work function D. Thanks for tuning in. Your feedback is very welcome, and we really appreciate your involvement. We wish you and your students academic and professional success.